Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you are having a fantastic day. Tim Knox here, and it is the first day of spring. A lovely day here in Alabama. The sun is out, about 70 today. It's a lovely day. Glad winter's over. Not really a winter person. I'm more of a spring person. Not really a summer person either, because here in Alabama, you've got two temperatures. You've got hot and you've got hellish. And I'm a closet ginger, had red hair, believe it or not, when I was a kid. So my skin does not like the sun, but I do like spring. And it is spring outside. And I'm doing my Jacksepticeye impression for some reason. Anyway, hey, this is the show where you ask the questions about small business, and I will come up with an answer for you. Typically, you ask those questions because you're too lazy to go find the answer yourself, or you're busy. You're an entrepreneur. I know you're busy. So the question today is one that I get a lot because it pertains to employees, which are the bane of every entrepreneur's existence. Most businesses cannot function without them, but boy, nothing can drive your business in the ground quicker than bad employees. So the question comes from Paul, and Paul says, Tim, I started my small business about a year ago, and it's grown steadily. Congrats, Paul. I like having my own business, but I'm having a tough time managing people. I have 5 employees now, and it seems like I spend half my time making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and the other half of my time doing things they didn't get done. Things were much easier when I was a one-man shop. Any suggestions? Well, Paul, first of all, congratulations on what sounds like a successful small business. If you've only started a year ago and you already have 5 employees on staff, I take that to mean that the business is growing and doing well. But welcome to employee management. This is, again, the bane of many entrepreneurs' existence, simply because either they cannot find good people, or more likely they are not adept at managing people. And believe it or not, that's one of the things as an entrepreneur you've got to get good at, is managing people, which begins with finding good people. And therein is the key, I think. So I'm kind of looking at my notes I've made on the subject here. I kind of equate managing employees to herding cats. Have you ever tried to herd cats? Are you a cat person? Dog person myself. Got 10 of them around here somewhere. I can't herd them either, but they listen more than cats. Cats are typically very strong-willed, very hard-headed. You don't adopt a cat, the cat adopts you. You know how it works. But if you've ever tried to herd cats, you get them going in one direction for a little bit, and all of a sudden this one runs off over here to do something, and then this one will take off over there. Sees a lady cat maybe that he wants to go hang out with. Employees are much the same way, Paul. You've got to continually keep them on track. You've got to keep them, number 1, trained, number 2, busy, and number 3, always moving forward. So I've come up with 5 or 6 things that you can do, Paul, and anyone can do to make employee management a little easier. It's never easy, but maybe this will help you. First tip, Paul, is only hire experienced, qualified people with a proven track record of performance in the job that you are hiring them for. For example, I was in the retail business for many years, and I would hire salespeople to work the floor. My ideal candidate was someone who could show me that they had success working a retail floor, and they were bringing those skills to my company. Same if you are doing skilled labor type things, electricians, plumbing. You don't want to hire an electrician who's never crossed wires, if you know what I mean, Paul. So only hire people that are, number 1, qualified to do the job and have proven that they are qualified. Unless you're hiring an intern or a trainee, in most jobs, it is important that they at least have some skill. And let me throw this in there, Paul. A lot of entrepreneurs, when they are especially starting in business, they'll try to find cheap labor. They'll try to find the most qualified person for the least amount of money. You are better off in the long run, Paul, paying someone really well to do the job really well. If you're cutting corners on what you're paying your employees, it's like the old adage, you get what you pay for, Paul. So if you're hiring cheap labor, you're going to have to expect cheap results. All right. Tip number two is screen applicants thoroughly. Now, I've been in your position, Paul. I've had problem employees. I've had times in my business when I would have killed to have a good employee in place, but I couldn't find anyone. And so I would just hire whoever walked through the door. I call it pulse hiring. I have a job opening, you have a pulse, it's a perfect match until it's not. So always screen applicants thoroughly, Paul. And by screening them thoroughly, I'm talking about screening them for things like honesty, integrity, drugs, bad habits. Excuse me. It gets me all choked up when I talk about this topic. Always have them fill out an application. Always have them give you references that you check. That's one of the things. A study showed that 90% of references on resumes go unchecked. And about 98% of references on resumes are bogus. So always call them up. Now, keep in mind, there are certain things you can and cannot ask about a person. You don't want to invade their privacy. But the one question you can always ask is, if you had the opportunity, would you hire this person again? If you get a yes, that's a pretty good sign that this is a good employee. If you get a no, pass. Go on to the next person. Also, don't forget drug screening and background checks. Now, here's my rule of thumb. If you are going to work for me, if I'm going to pay you a check every week or two, you're going to pee in a cup. I'm going to drug test you. And the reason I do this, I lived and learned. I had someone that I thought was a wonderful employee until they showed up, cracked out of their mind on the sales floor. So before you hire, invest a little money, number one, in a background check. They're 25, 30 bucks online, and do a drug screen, especially if you are hiring for an executive position. I had one of my high-tech clients was doing a job search for a senior vice president of marketing, brought a guy in from California, spent thousands of dollars whining and dining this guy, hired him, and then the president caught him doing cocaine on his desk the second day he was there. So it actually costs more to hire and fire and then have to find someone else than to not hire, than to just hold off and find the right person. So make sure you're doing the background checks, the drug screens. Always check those references, Paul. Like I said, you've done this, Paul. I've done this. Back when I was working for a living and I had to fill out an application, hell, I'd put my best friend as a reference. I'd put my brother as a reference. Always check references. Require a former employee or employer, someone that they've actually worked for before, and a couple of professional references. I'm not going to call you mama and ask if you're going to be a good employee. All right? Make sure you get professional references. Tip number 3, 4, 5, wherever we were, is never hire out of desperation. And as I said a minute ago, Paul, I've done this. I've been so desperate to hire that I've got an open position that I would hire someone even though they are not qualified. And you justify it in your mind. It's almost like women who take on men because they think they can change them. Oh my God, men can't be changed, ladies. Neither can bad employees. All right. So just because someone has a pulse does not mean you should give them a job at your company, Paul. All right. I honestly believe after 20 years of doing this and hiring, firing, and managing hundreds of employees, it is actually better to have no one in a job than to have the wrong person in a job, because that person will do more damage than good to your company. Another tip is to use a probationary period. I'm a huge fan of this because it helps you weed out non-performers. All right, I'm going to give you the job, but you are going to be on a 30, 60, 90-day probationary period. And during that time, we're going to have weekly reviews to assess how you're doing. And at any time it doesn't work out, I'm probably going to let you go. Now, you are well within your right as an employer to have probationary periods. States like Alabama are right to work states as well as right to fire, meaning that you can be fired at any time for any reason. Check the laws in your particular state, because some states it's harder to fire someone than it is to hire them. So check that out, but use the probationary period. And here's a big one, Paul. When you do get a great employee, when you do weed through all of the the mess, the zombies, the groups of bad employees. When you do find a good one, Paul, hang on to them for dear life. Treat them well. Pay them well. Reward them. And reward doesn't just mean monetary awards. You could, a slap on the back and a job well done often is more appreciated than a bonus at the end of the week. So once you get that employee, hang on to them. And I'm going to do another video about what's important to employees, because you may think that it's all about the money, but in truth, there are a number of things that makes an employee loyal and go above and beyond for you. So, Paul, I hope that's helpful. Again, congratulations on the business. It sounds like you are growing, but you are experiencing some of the issues that we all experience when it comes to hiring the employees. And remember the old adage, hire slow, fire fast, meaning take your time to make sure you're hiring the right person for that position. And if you get the wrong person, fire them, Paul, as quickly as you can and start the hunt again. All right. Hey, I hope that was helpful. If you have questions about small business, feel free to drop them in the comments below or shoot me an email, tim@timknox.com. Also, do me a favor. If you like these videos and you're interested in small business advice and the other tomfoolery that goes on here, click that subscribe button. You see that little button down there that says subscribe? If you click on that, you're going to be subscribed to this channel. And when you come back to YouTube and I have updated content, you're going to find me here. The other thing you can do is, you see that little bell? See that little bell down there? If you click that bell, you'll be notified every time that I release a new video. And I do this once or twice a week, sometimes more, depending on my mood and my availability. So, all right, Paul, hope that was helpful. Hey, I want you to get out there on the first day of spring and make it a fantastic day. Talk to you soon.